India became independent in 1947 CE. India accepted the constitutional framework in 1950 and became a sovereign democratic nation. The Indian society is multicultural and people of various languages, religions, and castes live together. During the initial period after independence, India needed to solve different issues of economics, political, and social development. The establishment of the Planning Commission and emphasis on industrialization was a means to achieve economic development and to eliminate poverty in India. Successful conduct of elections and faith in democratic tradition made it possible for us to achieve political stability. At the same time, several social reforms, including policies and programs for the weaker sections of the society, were sought to be implemented. This is second chapter, India events after 1960. So, the 1960s here, okay, we are going to study. In the decades of the 1960s, several events occurred which had a huge impact on the political situation in India. The regions of Goa, Diu and Daman were freed from Portuguese rule and became part of the Indian Federation. The tensions between India and China on the northern border, which had been rising since 1950, culminated in the War of 1962. Between two countries, this war was fought in the region of the McMahon Line. After India became independent, Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru led the country. He was the architect of India's foreign policy. His contributions to the social and economic development of India is significant. Jawaharlal Nehru passed away in 1964. Lal Bahadur Shastri succeeded him and became the next Prime Minister of India. During his tenure, India and Pakistan went to war over Kashmir issue. In 1965, the Soviet Union tried to mediate between the two countries. Lal Bahadur Shastri gave the slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kisan, with which he highlighted the importance of Indian soldiers and Indian farmers. Lal Bahadur Shastri breathed his last at Tashkent in 1966. Then Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India in 1966. During her tenure, Pakistan's oppressive policies in East Pakistan resulted in a big movement there. This movement was led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and his organization. It affected India as well because millions of refugees came to India. Now, the 1971 war between India and Pakistan led to the creation of an independent country called Bangladesh. As a part of India's policy to use atomic energy for peaceful purpose, India successfully carried out an underground test of an atomic device at Pokhran in Rajasthan in 1974. In 1975, the people of Sikkim voted for joining the Indian Republic and Sikkim became a full-fledged state in Indian Federation. Now, during this decade, the political situation in India grew unstable. The Allahabad High Court gave the verdict in 1974 that Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, had misused the government machineries during her election campaign. It led to nationwide strikes and protests. During this period, the situation became more complicated due to the movement led by Jayaprakash Narayan. The situation of law and order in the country worsened and the government declared a state of national emergency on the basis of the constitutional provisions related to emergency. During this turbulent period, the fundamental rights of Indian citizens were suspended. Due to the emergency, the Indian administration became disciplined, but the human rights were restricted. The period of national emergency lasted from 1975 to 1977, and after that, general elections were conducted on the backdrop of the emergency. Many opposition parties came together and formed a party called the Janata Party. The Congress Party, led by Indira Gandhi, was roundly defeated by this newly formed Janata Party. Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister, but under his leadership, the Janata Party government couldn't last long due to internal differences. Charan Singh succeeded him, but even his government was a short-lived one. Elections were conducted once, again in 1980, and the Congress Party under the leadership of Indira Gandhi came to power again. Now, see here, the 1980s, during this decade, the Indian political system faced many new challenges. The Sikh in Punjab demanded an independent state of Khalistan and began a movement which went on to become violent and destructive. Pakistan had led its support to this movement. The Indian army was sent into the Golden Temple at Amritsar, a holy shrine of the Sikh, in 1984, to evict the terrorists who had allegedly taken shelter there. One of the Sikh bodyguard in Indira Gandhi's personal security assassinated her. During this period, an organization called United Liberation Front of Assam (ULFA) carried on a major movement in northeast India. Right after Indira Gandhi's assassination in 1984, Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India. He tried to make several reforms in the field of Indian economy and that of science and technology. He took the lead in solving the issues of the minority in Sri Lanka. He promoted the ideas of a united Sri Lanka with internal autonomy to the Tamil community, but his efforts in this regard proved to be in vain. He faced a lot of criticism in the contest of corruption that took place. During a defense equipment deal, especially the purchase of long-range cannons from a foreign company called Bofors, political corruption became a crucial issue in the general elections that followed, and the Congress Party was defeated. Several political parties formed a coalition called the Janata Dal, and Vishwanath Pratap Singh became the next Prime Minister of India. The policy for providing reservations for other backward classes OBC is considered to be his most important contribution. He could not continue as Prime Minister due to internal differences in the party. In 1990, Chandrasekhar became the Prime Minister of India. His government was also short-lived. In 1991, during the election campaign, the terrorist organization in Sri Lanka, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam (LTTE), assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. Towards the end of the decade of 1980s, the unrest in Jammu and Kashmir has begun. The terrorist activities there forced the Kashmiris Pandit to leave the valley. This problem grew seriously day by day, and today it has taken the form of terrorism. The changes after 1991. The year 1991 is held to be very important in the history of the world as well as India. The Soviet Union disintegrated into several different small countries and the Cold War came to an end. In India, the government under the leadership of Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao initiated many changes in the Indian economy. During this period, the Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Mosque issues at Ayodhya came to the forefront. In the elections conducted between 1996 and 1999, no political party got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. This resulted in three governments in a short span of time. Those led by Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, H.D. Devegowda and Inder Kumar Gujral were amongst them. Finally, in 1999, the National Democratic Alliance came to power under the flag of Bharatiya Janata Party and Atal Bihari Vajpayee became India's Prime Minister. Atal Bihari Vajpayee tried to establish a dialogue with Pakistan but was not successful. India conducted a number of nuclear tests in 1998 and declared herself as an atomic power. In 1999, there was another war between India and Pakistan in Kargil region over the Kashmir issue. India defeated Pakistan in this war as well. Indian economy. Right from independence, the modernization of economy, economic self-sufficiency and social justice have been the characteristics of Indian economy. India wanted to acquire modernity and self-reliance by the establishing industries. We wanted to establish an economy based on social justice through planning. For this, the National Planning Commission was established that would coordinate development through the policy of 5-year plan. The Narasimha Rao government started economic reforms from 1991. These economic reforms are called as economic liberalization. The Indian economy flourished as a result of the implementation of this policy. The foreign investment in India increased. Skilled Indian professionals helped reforms the Indian economy. The field of information technology opened several avenues of employment in the country. The changes after 1991 are also described as globalization. We'll study about science and technology. Two major events must be mentioned while describing India's efforts towards self-reliance. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is known as the father of Green Revolution. In 1965, he implemented new scientific agricultural techniques and increased the production of food grains. The experiment in cooperative dairy movement by Dr. Verghese Kurian led to increase of milk production in India. This is called as White Revolution. India had also made a lot of progress in the field of atomic energy and space research. Dr. Homi Bhabha led the foundation of the Indian Atomic Power Program. India insisted on using atomic energy for peaceful purposes like generation of electricity and defense. India has achieved considerable success in space technology as well. In 1975, the first satellite Aryabhatta was launched. Today, India has a successful space program and many satellites have been launched. Under this program, India has also made considerable advancement in the telecom sector. Now, changes in social field. During this period, there were several major changes in the social field in India. Some of the changes are related with the issues of empowerment of women and the other are related with the policies regarding the uplift of deprived sections of the society. To promote all-around development of women and children, a separate department of Women and Children department was created in 1985 under the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Some laws were made to ensure social justice to women and to help the implementation of various schemes in this direction. They include the Prohibitions of Dowry Act, Equal Remunerations Act. As per the 73rd and 74th Constitution amendments, seats were reserved for women in local self-government bodies. According to the makers of Indian Constitution, some constituents of the Indian society were deprived of dignity and equal opportunities due to the caste system. Kakasaheb Kalelkar Commission was set up in 1953 to make recommendations so as to improve their condition. In 1978, a commission was constituted under the chairmanship of B.P. Mandal to study the issues of the backward classes. The policy of reservation was adopted in order to strengthen the representations of backward section in various services and institutions. The government passed the Prevention of Atrocities Act in 1989 to enable those belonging to the scheduled caste and tribes to live with dignity and respect, free from fear, violence and oppressions of the upper classes. Now we will study globalization here. So globalization, what is globalization? We are going to study about this. Globalization is the process of connecting the national economy with the world economy. This will lead to the free flow of goods, services, technology and labor across the world. Globalization was a part of the economic reforms introduced in India in 1991. We have discussed some of these changes in the above paragraph. India has emerged as an important country on the global scene in different spheres. India is an important member of international organizations like G20 and BRICS. BRICS means full form of BRICS is BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. India has experienced an important revolution in the field of telecommunication technology. Mobile phones, internet and the communication facilities based on satellite have spread all across the country. In the political field, India has demonstrated to the world how a stable democracy can function successfully. All this has resulted in a total transformation in the lifestyles of Indians and especially the youth. These changes are visible from their dietary habits, clothing, language and beliefs. In the next chapter, we are going to study some internal challenges before India. Now we have completed this chapter. Okay. So in next lecture I will give you question answers. This all question answers, textual and extra question answers I am going to give you. Okay. So you just listen again and again. Okay. And you can subscribe this channel so that you will get all the videos related to your class. Okay.